Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Gary Common Council Planning Committee meeting, February no, it's not the 5th, February the 11th, 2020. We're starting at the 5 p.m. hour. Tonight we have one resolution on our agenda, CPR 2020-01, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Gary, acknowledging the local model, mission, and vision of the 4th District, sponsored by Councilwoman of the 4th District, Ty Atkins. At this time, I will have her to give an overview at this time.
Do I need to stand up?
Either one of you want to do?
Sure, I'll stand up.
Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to just let the public know about a process that was taking place. The feedback was given to me during the campaign that the residents of the 4th District really wanted something of their own. They just wanted something to connect with, something to instill a sense of pride that they felt was lacking within the community. So in a discussion, we thought about what can we do as a stronghold to kind of signify ourselves as something that was coming together to impact the resurgence of the city of Gary. And so we thought something similar to what you see in the city of Chicago. When you're in Chicago and you're in Chinatown, you know when you're in Chinatown. And the residents of Chinatown are proud to be of that particular community. The same thing as when you're in Midtown in Atlanta, or if you're in the LBGT community in Atlanta as well. When you're in that particular area within the community, you know it based on the branding and the logo that they have. They also usually have slogans that make up the compass of what that community means. So together, I told my constituents that I would support this. So we went through a part of the business process, which is called brand management, and we contracted outside. It was solely funded by myself for the residents of the 4th District to work with the company and provide them with details in terms of what encompasses our community, our city, as well as the various neighborhoods within the 4th District. So this particular company worked with all that information that was provided with them and provided us with 3 different logo options for us to consider. And I'll just go over the 3 options and then give you guys input in terms of why we went with the one that we decided to go with. So the 3 that we had, this first one here, it actually, the color scheme was just to encompass something modernized, and the bricks represents the ruins of what we have currently as the city. But those bricks are, as you can see, building upwards to actually signify the building up of the city of Gary, and specifically within the 4th District. The next one that we have, we wanted to encompass what our city basically was founded on, which is the steel mill. So sometimes when you look in the steel mill, there used to be a point in time that you can kind of see the flame, you know, kind of by the smokestacks. And so those parts of the flame represents the color and the diversity of the community as we look to what our foundation was, which was U.S. Steel Corporation. The last one, which is a combination of these, the script of the 4th District, again, was just modernized, and then also it's bold. The F is forward thinking. It's large in scope, and when we were to print this on different entities such as a pole, banner, or t-shirts, it just looked, in terms of the visual aspect of it, it brought the eye visual to what the 4th District means as a whole. Within the branding of it, there is an outline of the grid of the 4th District. The colors are multi-colored, vibrant colors. The reason behind that is that it encompasses the diversity and the makeup of all of which the individuals of the 4th District bring to this community. We have a makeup of individuals who are steel workers, who are educators, who are engineers. And so this connected together in a unit makes up the 4th District. And so the colors, again, brings a resurgence and a vibrant look for the district. And so we had a meeting October the 11th. This was prior to me taking the oath to sit on the council, but after the primary. And in that particular meeting, the residents of the 4th District voted amongst the 3 that you initially saw in terms of what they wanted from a logo perspective to represent themselves. And so the winner was the one that you see the most of. So the one in the middle just kind of showed at that time, from a visual perspective, how we were looking to take this, something that we created as a community, and repurpose the space to bring it a little bit more life to it. And so that was the meaning behind it. I have some of my 4th District residents who got the explanation on our January 30th meeting And I think we had some members who actually participated in activity on October the 11th that's here as well. So that's the meaning behind it. In terms of the structure, the motto, a turn towards tomorrow. Again, in commentary with our residents, everyone talked about, well, the future, or future phase, and looking forward, and looking in the present day, but understanding what we can do tomorrow. So again, that concept was taken from our constituents as well. And then in the actual resolution, there was commentary that speaks to the vision and the mission, just in terms of what we would like to see happen within the fourth and how we want to get there. So I can read it for the public. So in terms of the mission, we plan to become a vibrant urban district that is guided by a close-knit sense of community, a place where families, businesses can lay down roots, a place defined by connections, our internal connections to each other and our external connections to surrounding communities. The vision of the 4th District, again, just showing together what we want to see going forward. The 4th District is a city's nexus, its heart, linked by roads, sidewalks, highways to every neighborhood in Gary. Revitalizing this district means reviving the heartbeat of the city. By encouraging economic development and designing for livability, we can cultivate an environment where a diverse group of people can live, work, and play. We will become the center of opportunity in Gary, the nucleus of the city, by restoring hope and pride and by capitalizing on the district's asset, its central locations, its historic infrastructure, and most importantly, its resilience. So again, this was just something to connect us. You know, this is what we're hoping to do, and as me being a representative of the 4th District, the vision is something I hope that I can partner with the city entities as well as my colleagues for us to do together. So that was the overview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me do a little housekeeping that I didn't do. You just heard the voice of Ty Atkins, Councilwoman of the 4th District. We are joined also by my Councilwoman Mary Brown of the 3rd District, Councilman William Godwin of the 1st District, Linda Barnes Caldwell of the 5th District, Cozy Witherspoon of the 6th District, 2nd District, yes, sorry, and Mr. Cloris Lay, Councilman at Large, and our Council Attorney, Mr. Renzo Williams. And thank everyone for coming out. At this time, is there any question by any council members at this time?
You know what? I don't have any questions, but one thing I do want to say, I appreciate the work that you guys have done in this. I really do. I mean, this wasn't something that you just threw together. You guys got together and worked. I mean, you actually worked at this, and I appreciate this. I really do. Now, I know I've heard some people say, well, we can't start splitting the city up into districts, but you guys have done a tremendous job in terms of putting this together, and I appreciate the work that you've done. I do. So
Yes.
that's my comment.
You know, I agree with Councilwoman Brown that you've done a tremendous job in putting this together. But my reservations, you know, come from a few areas. First of all, there's a history in this community of a neighborhood, of a community, in particular being the Miller area, that has been looked upon from a standpoint of being separate from the city of Gary.
Right.
To the point that people even refer to it as Miller, Indiana. Okay, and it's reality that Miller, Indiana
Right.
does not exist. That concerns me in that something such as this will promote more division in not just Miller, but other areas of the city. The second thing I look at also is the fact that, you know, will this create a competition between districts? Because, you know, quite frankly, you know, the 2nd District is diversified. In addition, not only is it diversified as it relates to people, it's diversified as it relates to business. It's diversified as it relates to residents, industry, and for that matter, I even have an airport. So I could put a logo together that would be outstanding. But I think, I think that ideally we should be functioning as a group, and don't get me wrong, I think you put tremendous work into this.
Right.
I think that we should be functioning along the same line, the same agenda, promoting the city's motto, promoting the city's vision and the city's logo. I do understand that, and I was actually a part of it early on, where the administration during the transition was working on logo, okay? And what I would love to see I would love to see your efforts collaborating with the city's efforts and coming together with something more modern that encompasses, as you said, the mills, the beginning of the cities, and everything else. I don't want to see a division. I don't want to see a competition, because each of us as district council people, not at large, but as district council people, hey, we got our pride too.
Can I rebut to that? Thank you. So anything that we did to refer it as competition or something as division, I don't think that those words should even be brought up in this conversation. The point of it was to create something that has never been done before. The part of it was to bring a sense of community. So I felt like anyone who wanted to do that, they could have done it. But now that I did do it, now we're bringing up those particular words. And I want to be clear. I have talked to the administration, Mr. Mayor, specifically about what we were trying to do, and I understand what he's doing. This is not to disrupt what the brand of the city is. The brand of the city and the brand of this district is two different things. Also, Miller is a community inside of the 1st District, which also encompasses Etna, Glen Ryan, and part of the Emerson area. So for this, we did include all of those districts that was a part of the conversation. I would be happy to work with any district person if that was a part of what they wanted to do. But I will say this as well before we even get deep into the conversation, if you don't mind, Mr. Godwin. I am thankful for the mentorship of 2 of my senior council people, Councilwoman Brown as well as Councilman Lay. And so Councilman Lay has also given me alternative for us in terms of my district to consider as well, and him being a resident of the 4th, you know, I do take what he says to heart. And if I can put that on the table at this time, so that my constituents can understand, the recommendation is for us to kind of take this and possibly do it in the function of a nonprofit, so that we can actually have something binding to it, versus, from my understanding as a resolution, the hard work and financial support that has been put into this, right? Anyone could have access to it and utilize it, maybe for profit or something like that. It is something that we worked hard for. And so Councilman did reach out to me and has brought that to the table. And I would like to consider that with his help in being able to do that as well. However, I was not going to let this work go unnoticed, right? I was not going to, right? And I just wanted to be known, the word division or separation or, you know, trying to compete with anyone, that's never the intent. And I don't want that to be the narrative for anything that we did.
Could I just say one other thing? Let me just say one other thing. I didn't accuse you of creating a division. What I am talking about is the natural inclination of individuals and their pride. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, because you put your logo together, then, you know, all of a sudden, then I'm going to want to put a logo together. Someone else is going to want to put a logo together. So I'm not talking about you personally creating a division. Okay,
so I didn't take it like that, Councilman.
Okay,
I'm very clear. I didn't take it that way.
Cool.
I want to echo what has been said in terms of commending you for the great job you've done on doing this. It is absolutely first class, first rate, and fantastic. We live in a nation of 50 states, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Every state has its own flag. That doesn't mean that Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia don't all love America. And likewise, we are a city of neighborhoods. And because Miller, visit millerbeach.com, we have a variety of logos for our business association. Edna Manor Revitalization Program has a logo, and Friends of Glen Ryan may even have a logo one day. The fact that each of those groups has a motto, has a logo, doesn't mean they don't all like being part of the 1st District or like being part of the city of Gary. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. In terms of competition, I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
That's what makes us better. And so if you're doing this, encourages me. We have a branding committee meeting Thursday night for the Miller area. So this kind of work is already happening, is going to continue to happen. And I think to the point you raise is that it doesn't have to be in conflict with what the administration may want to do in terms of an official city logo. It could be in concert with and in conversation with what's happening at the district level. Again, I thank you for your work, and I look forward to supporting you on this.
One other statement.
Well, let me go around.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Competition? Yes, it's gonna make me step my game up, okay? just point blank. I have University Park, Midtown, Black Oak, Glen Park. Yeah, I'm gonna step my game up, okay? So, we're going to, I'll be calling you.
And, go ahead.
Councilman Lang.
Other than being just, I wear a bonnet, so it can go off at any time. If it does, I don't want anybody to touch me. I have to accept it. It's a very unique bonnet. One of the things I am also a resident of the 4th District. And so I talked to Councilman Atkins today. And what we're going to do, no question, this is a lot of work, but it has no name. It's unclear how people join it. They can't set up a bank account. They don't have an EIN number. They don't have anything. So one of the things we're going to do is, in fact, set up a not-for-profit. I will do that. It will cost the district $50. They don't pay me. They have to pay the state of Indiana. We will get an employer identification number, and they will have the opportunity of taking it to tax exemption. Now, I haven't promised to do that, but if my health get a little bit better, I'll do that for it. Again, it will be no cost. So we're actually going to withdraw the request. I think it's great all you guys talk about the competition and all the rest of that. She's going to withdraw it. So it will not be before the council.
She's gonna table it.
No, withdraw.
Well, this is the sponsor saying she's gonna table it.
Table it till we get all the paperwork together.
Is that,
If you withdraw it, you can file it again at any time. Now, I don't know how long each time you put it on the table, it's called lay on the table, they gotta do something in every meeting, and they gotta do something. So you don't lose by withdrawing it, and just simply go back. You can always file it again. That's why I told you to withdraw when we were talking about table. And I guess they talk about lay on the table. That is probably the most misused motion in Robert Rules. People don't understand.
I really like that.
You don't, just make a withdrawal, it's clean, and you can file it again next week, next hour.
so I'm not sure I understand what your suggestion is if she does it this
Just
time.
withdraw it. Just
Withdraw it for now.
Right, right.
For
See,
now.
she always,
Yeah,
she makes you
that-
guys
that's-
hold it down,
that's-
and I believe it takes about 6 months or something like
Year.
1 year,
Yeah.
1 year for it, she can do it again.
And you come back in.
Misuse of the motion, lay on the table, it's an issue. I assure you of that.
Let me just say, I think you have done a great job. I wasn't expecting to see what I saw just a minute ago in your presentation, but I think it's excellent, and it almost makes you feel a part of something, even though I'm not a resident of the 4th, but I represent.
No, you're not. I remember that you're
represent the entire
resident of
city
the
there,
third,
yes. But
Yeah.
even in our district, in the 3rd district, which is known as Charleston, branding has already started.
Yes.
You see different businesses popping up and signs going, Charleston Park. So branding is happening in a lot of areas throughout the city. I attended the MCC meeting last night, and just to hear all the different things as they come together as a community, talk about the different things, the garden club that they have out there. They talk about the prom that they had. A lot of people probably didn't know we had a prom in the city, but that was something that the Miller District put on, and they do a lot of different branding. We talked about the construction, how they wanted the city to put up certain signs letting people know that the businesses were still open. The city moved a little slow. So guess what? The Miller team got together. They put their own sign up letting you know that the Miller was still open for business. I mean, it's a sense of pride, I believe, that it makes people want to do more. If you ever go down Lake Street in the summer before we start the construction, you've seen all these beautiful flowers out there. That wasn't done because of the city. That was the Miller Garden Club. That was a community inside of a community working together to make sure that it stays vibrant out there in that area, and I do appreciate it. I want to see more of this happen throughout the city. I like the idea about the competition. I think it inspires people to a different level, which what we need inside the city there, because we are lacking in a lot of our district and a lot of our areas to see the pride taken back. And we always talk about pride in so many different areas inside our city, and I believe this will be a big spark inside the 4th district, which is needed in a lot of different areas there. There's so many people I see that have come out, but I want to recognize, I believe this is you're the city planner.
Yes.
Can you please stand and give us your name and everything for the record? So I know a lot of people don't know who you are, as far as the council and residents.
we
So we
don't.
can, yes,
And I'm very glad to be here, by the way.
yes.
My name is Greg Jenkins. I'm Director of Planning for the City of Gary.
Okay. So Mr. Jenkins, do you want to just share anything? You're the Director of Planning in the city.
Who here planning?
These
before?
graphics are so slick.
Jill,
This
what about
is a very impressive presentation. One thing that it does bring up, that as we look at this, is that there are components from one district to another that are split in half. You mentioned it, where Emerson is split in half, Broadway's split in half. The 11th Avenue corridor, as it comes through the 4th
Yes.
district, there's a little nub that's cut out. That if somehow we can make the districts correspond with the neighborhoods, so that there would be a double layer of identity putting on, that would make things stronger. But that's just a quick idea out of the blue. But thanks for recognizing me.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just want to say, I know that we have in the 3rd District tried a branding of sorts. We attempted to do something with the 11th Avenue corridor. It never got off the ground, but it was an attempt. We talked about the school, Ernie Powell. We talked about a community garden. We never really got it off the ground. There are several things that we talked about doing in the district that we never got off the ground. And I just believe that this kind of project would get some of those people going, would get them moving. Hey, wait a minute, we can do some of this too. And I mean, I have really wanted that 11th Avenue corridor. I wanted a bakery over there so bad. How many times have I talked about a bakery and a cleaners over there? I mean, it's just a wonderful idea. And I appreciate all the work that you've done. I really do. I honestly do.
Mr. President, one of the
Yes.
You know, there is nothing, in my opinion, wrong with community branding as done by organizations. There's nothing whatsoever wrong with that. And I'm going to emphasize that again. There is nothing whatsoever wrong with branding as it relates to community organizations. You know, I promote that. But the issue is when those are brought before the city council. You know, I don't know of any organizations that are bringing their brands before the city council, you know, for resolution. And that's where I have an issue, and I think that's where division has to be drawn.
Well, who else would they bring it before?
But I was going to say, it doesn't mean that it can't be done because we have not done it, you know. When Van Dyke first was here, when he first became, when he was over redevelopment, was when we started talking about the 11th Avenue corridor. And I mean, it's just, there are just so many things that can be done, and I believe that once you get people going in terms of some positive things in their area, I believe that it'll work. I'm
Because Grant is the new Broadway in the 5th District from 21st. We have the dollar store down there, the Advanced Auto, the Jerk Chicken Place, and then as we come over the hill, we go into the car wash, the Aldi's, the
Speedway,
O'Reilly's,
yeah.
the Speedway, the car wash, AutoZone, all that. Go all the way to Ridge Road, the service station that's right there on the corner where the cave used to be, so, yeah.
So we got, I see
Better start
we
somewhere.
have the public here, and I just want to hear from you all. I want to open up to the public, but this is a public meeting. So if anyone wants to speak for or against at this time, you can. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Terry Alexander, and I reside in the fourth district, I was gonna say Episcopal district. But anyway, just to say, I am excited. Because, you know, my family members would say, why do I live in Gary? You can afford to go somewhere else and live a better lifestyle, have more, everything than what I have where I am. But it's something about the city of Gary that keeps me here. And I know a lot of us are in the same shoes that we could leave. But we love Gary. If not, we wouldn't be here this evening, correct? So I am excited for my council.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. You know, we all need change. And I am excited. I live down there on 14th Avenue. I've been down there 36 years over there at Carolina Park. The pavilion has never been remodeled. I've been there 36 years. We have never seen a new swing in there, let alone a basketball court, and we put it up there. The streets have not been paved or anything, or sidewalks. And the last snow, we have had 2 snows. Had to call to get it plowed and salt. So I am excited to see some change. I'm telling my neighbors on my block, we're gonna do block by block by block. We ain't gonna try to do them old everything. We're gonna do 1 block.
Yeah, okay.
And then we're gonna go 1 house to 1 house, 1 house. Because when you try to tackle it all, you know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, right.
And so I am excited. I'm getting ready to retire. I told her that I've been on the mill 42 years.
All right.
So I have a lot of time on my hands besides that working along with my church. And I'm excited. I am very excited, and we can do this.
Yes, ma'am.
We have enough finances in this room, I'm sure, that we can do this.
Especially on that last row.
And with all the rest of us chipping in, we can make this work. So let's just don't kill the dream. You know, that's what it sounds to me like. We want to keep it. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Let's give it a try. And collectively, it'll say, look what they doing over there in the 4th. But we can do it in the 3rd. We can do it in the 2nd. And you know, when you hear folks talk, say, well, I live in Miller, a lot of my friends think, well, hey, a Miller not a part of Gary? I said, yes, that is Gary.
Yes, it is.
You know, that I'm just saying what the people say on the street. So I am excited.
That's the point.
And I'm encouraging her to do whatever we need, some new ideas. We can't keep doing the same thing and get the same result. So I just hope everybody have an open mind. And let's just give it a try.
All right, thank you. In the back.
My name is Ruth Nathan. I'm in support of this. I think competition is healthy. And that we need a sense of pride in our city. And not just one area. We need to be able as a community. I know where I live at on 24th Place in Wallace, 4 people. We go make sure that our city, our streets are not dumping. We're running around taking pictures and doing everything. We got 4 people. Us coming together as a community is very important. And instead of us talking about community, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right. Yes.
I ain't never seen that at a council
Larry
meeting.
Johnson, section, I live in the 4th district. I'm also a precinct, mini person in the 4th district. For those of you, for the majority of you all that are in my age range, John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Isn't it time that we as the citizens do something for our city? The city's finances are, we all know that, so it's time for us to do something for our city. And by branding the 4th district, if that's going to make the citizens in the 4th district get up, sweep in front of their house, cut that vacant lot, and clean up the city, I think this is a great idea. Okay.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dorothy King, ex-committee. That's my committee person. And I'm behind her 100% because she's a person who listens to us when she has her meeting. And the things that she's bringing to you are from the people in the district and the way that they feel that we can do. Because I can remember when Vernon was our council person, 4th district was number 1. 3rd district was the mighty 3rd. Come on. We did it once, we can do it again. It was no competition. everybody that did something to boost people and to make them feel like they were part of and that they wanted to do something. Because if you sit back and you never see nothing done, you're not gonna feel like you wanna get up and do nothing. What happened to all our block clubs that we had? They vanished because we couldn't get the help, we couldn't get the support, and people just gave up. We gotta bring that back. People gotta have to know that it takes us to do, and we're gonna back her. Whatever she says she wants to do, we're gonna be there for her.
All right.
So we ask y'all to give us that hand and help her too.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Perry.
Hi, my name is Sarah Taylor. I'm from the 4th District in Marshalltown Terrace.
Yes.
Okay, now the only thing I have to say is that each community, if everybody did what they have to do in each community, it's about bringing the city of Gary together. Each individual community, District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. You do what you got to do in your community, you put it together, it'll bring the whole city together. And that's the bottom line.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Talk about his previous structure. In other words, what she's doing will continue, certainly even go further. As an example, it could be called, and she has not agreed to this, 4th District Citizen Corporation. So at that point, like I said, once you take it to the tax exemption, you certainly can, of course, move for grants. You have to have a structure to what you're doing. What she's doing is great, but currently the structure is, I hate to say it, it's sort of invisible. You can't figure it out. But once we create the not-for-profit and go toward tax exemption, there will be structure there. Whatever you want to do, you can do under this overall structure. MCC is Villa Citizen Corporation. It's a corporation function. And so again, in no way are what she's doing is being diminished by the corporation. It's just saying how people, in fact, can become members of the 4th District Citizen Corporation. In other words, they will set up a membership, a vice president, a registered agent. Everything will be done. And had I not thought it was a good idea, I assure you.
Did you go get it?
Helping her do this.
He should have been at work.
Again, like I say, basically, lay on the table is not the correct way to do it. But we'll make work whatever she wants to do. I'll make work when every council meeting, you're gonna have to do something with it. Leave it on the table.
Yes.
Chair Mallory, 4th District, and I like what I see, but I'm more in line with what Attorney Lay is saying, is that sometimes we can jumpstart things and not necessarily put the proper things in place. And I think with me, and I called about 10 people in my little area just to see if they knew of the discussion here, and they did not. So my first thing is communication with the people in the 4th. The 4th happens to be the biggest district in the city, and it's one of those things where I'm far west and nobody in my little community, and I know my neighbors very well, except a few that work for the city they kind of knew, but outside of that, nobody in my little area knew. So my point is, I kind of align with Attorney Lay in that if we did something similar to the MCC, putting things in order, proper order, it would allow us to come together more as a community because we would be able to independently go after grants or additional funding that would make it stronger. So I'm liking what I see. I think things need to possibly be reprioritized so we can really maximize the effort of the branding.
So if I can speak to that, if it's okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let me be clear. The purpose of this was not to create a club. We have an abundance of block clubs in the 4th District. Also, as it relates to information, I'm not sure where you live at, but we had a lot of events last year where all of these residents participated in. There was a robocall that was given out yesterday as well as Friday to inform those who have registered with me directly to be informed of all the events that we've had. Also on Facebook. So I am your councilwoman, so if you follow me on Facebook, all of the information in terms of events are on there as well. And as we continue to have events, I'm collecting addresses. So the feedback that we got from the January 30th meeting was that some residents prefer to get mailers, and so we'll be incorporating that going forward. So the way that we've gotten communication in terms of, for me being a new person in the council, I'm trying to use and leverage all avenues possible within my means. So I just want to reiterate, the structure was not to create another layer. We don't need to create another layer of an organization where we have about 25 defunct block clubs in the 4th district because we have not came together. And so the purpose of this was to signify all of that as one, right? And then my job is to help us with I have a block club myself, right? So the Hilltop organization is an organization one in itself. The Marshalltown Terrace, Ms. Taylor and her sister, they have one in themselves, right? The Pyramids, Mr. Lay is a part of the Pyramids. That organization is one in itself. So I don't think that we need another layer, but I understand. There is a structure of a nonprofit that has already been started to facilitate funding for programming. Again, this was brought up in the January 30th meeting to the constituents already. So I just want people to understand this isn't a club, right? This was just to recognize, and I think you might have missed the beginning of the presentation, what had been talked about from the constituents in terms of having some formality in terms of what they want the districts to be. So I just want to get that part of this being a club and having meetings. No, my part is a councilwoman, so we have community forums for that. But it's not to create another layer of structure and president and all that stuff, because I already have. I'm a president of a block club already. So
it just seems to me that it doesn't have to be either or, right? So this resolution does not in any way inhibit, right, or prevent the creation of an organization should that be the wish of folks within the 4th district. It can kind of travel at the same time in different lanes. This is merely, to me, recognizing the motto, the vision, and the logo and branding for the district. And there might be several citizens corporations, right? I mean, you have several neighborhoods within the 4th district. So it doesn't seem like it's an either or proposition, but that both could happen, and the happening of one doesn't necessarily need to inhibit the happening of another.
Right. Thank you for that clarity, Councilman.
Well, I agree with Councilman Godwin and his last statement there. I think it's a great idea. I think it's great by bringing people together. It gives you a sense of pride. At the end of the day, it's a sense of pride. When you talked about the Miller, the lady, your friend is in Miller there, it's just a sense of pride that Miller people have. It's not so much that they want to be so much separate from Gary, but they really feel a sense of pride. And if you ever hung out in any of the places where they eat at and participate in any of the little events that they have out there, there is a sense of pride about that community. And you see it in them. When they want things done, they feel like they have put their time into making sure certain things done, and when it's time for the city to deliver, they demand that we deliver. And you cannot, really get upset or anything. I mean, it's almost you have to do what you need to do because this community really works hard to do their part, and they do it as a unit there. So I just appreciate the work that you have done. I think will bring the community together, and I think it's a jump start, as we said, inside of other districts, because you definitely do have the airport that's not being utilized and being exhibited in the 2nd district as it should. University Park, I just knew we were going to have a big sign going over Broadway as soon as you got the highway saying, "Welcome to University Park." I think those branding, I'm a strong component of branding throughout. I have said this for I don't know how long. I think every district needs to work on a branding project. And overall, let the administration do the overall branding of the city. But I think inside the district, it makes people feel like unity. At the end of the day, it's a sense of unity. But if there's...
I'll just say, too, I want to commend the citizens of the 4th district.
Yes.
This is very impressive.
It is.
We rarely have people come to our committee meetings, but I think it's great that you all came out and working with your council person and passionate about it. That's the kind of energy we want to see all over the city. So I commend each of you for being involved, and for your council person for working with you in spirit.
Thank you.
And the last thing I would say, you know, this resolution is just a sense of just letting the council know and asking the council in support of what Councilwoman Atkins is attempting to do inside her district. And I think it's amazing that you have put this together in this short amount of time that you have been on the council, and you have something of this magnitude presented to us, and also to the resident that you serve, and you all should be committed also to and being a part of it also. So if there's nothing else, that will end our planning meeting, and whatever you decide to do, we will deal with it at the next council meeting. That'll be Tuesday in the council chambers at 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay.